Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us because we are about to take a raw, no-nonsense, reality-checking journey straight into the psychology of personal transformation and mental toughness. If you've ever felt like you're just kind of existing rather than truly living, or maybe you feel like there's this massive gap between where you are right now and where you absolutely know you could be, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're drawing from some incredibly powerful source material to break down exactly what it takes to stop playing it safe and start actually molding your own reality. Okay, let's dive into this. Right off the bat, I want you to seriously ask yourself a question. What are you afraid of? Because the source material reveals a pretty universal truth here. We all have fears. Every single one of us has some invisible barrier blocking our path. And the fundamental reason most people aren't living out their true potential, it isn't a lack of talent. It isn't a lack of resources. It's fear. It's literally the anchor holding you back from making the jump. Section 1. The reality of risk and choosing your pain. So we have to fundamentally reframe how we view danger and safety. The truth is, life doesn't actually allow us to avoid risk. It only lets us choose which pain and which risks we're willing to take. You see, most people get stuck in the fear of failure. They're terrified of what other people will think of them if they try something new and fall flat on their face. But contrast that with the fear of regret. Imagine what people will think of you, or honestly worse, what you'll think of yourself when you aren't even trying. It's the classic one day or day one concept. Not trying might feel safe in the moment, but it carries the ultimate silent cost of long-term regret. This crucial point is perfectly captured in this intense realization from our sources. It's all risky. Think about it for a second. Getting married? That's risky. Going into business? Super risky. Investing your money is risky. Waiting for a completely 100% safe moment? That's a total delusion. If you think trying is risky, just wait until life hands you the bill for not trying. As the quote points out, you're not going to get out of this alive anyway. So playing it safe is, ironically, the absolute most dangerous game you can play. To put this into a really concrete perspective for us, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that makes a tangible change in your life's direction, guess what? You really don't have to wonder what your next 5 years will look like. Just look at your last 5 years. Without a major shift in your daily inputs, your future is just going to be a mirroring timeline of your past. To change your life, you have to actually change something. Section 2. Escaping the comfort zone and the trap of someday. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Success is just not a comfortable procedure, guys. It's not. If you want to grow, you literally have to inject friction into your life. The answers, the growth, the massive breakthrough you're searching for, they're hiding right behind the exact tasks that make you the most uncomfortable. The sources use this incredibly visceral metaphor of a burning candle to explain this. Think of your life, your time, as this candle. So many people sit around saying, well, as soon as everything is perfectly lined up, then I'll start. As soon as it's warm enough or bright enough, then I'll finally show up. But here's the catch. While you're waiting for perfection, the only time you actually have available is burning away. The candle is getting smaller and smaller while you hesitate. You absolutely cannot wait for everything to be perfect to start living. And what happens to us while we wait? We accumulate weight. Not physical weight, but mental weight. As the source notes, unmade decisions are the true root of our daily stress. When you know deep down you need to make a choice, but you keep putting it off out of fear, it totally suffocates you inside this bubble of indecision. You have got to burst that bubble. Section 3. The power of obsession and becoming misunderstood. To achieve extraordinary results, you have to develop a level of relentless focus that ordinary people will fundamentally misunderstand, and they'll probably criticize it too. So what does true obsession look like in practice? Well, it's hitting the gym at 1 a.m. after a 14-hour shift. It's practicing your craft entirely alone in the baking hot sun. It's staying in to study while all your peers are out partying. And here's the kicker. People are going to call you weird. They'll call you antisocial, maybe even psycho. Actually, scratch that. They probably will call you crazy. But being labeled weird by the masses, that's actually just a reflection of how deeply committed you are to molding your craft. Honestly, you've arrived when you become misunderstood. 8. That number represents the 8 hours of sleep many people insist they absolutely need. Now, the source delivers a pretty harsh reality check here. It's actually kind of a funny quirk of human biology that we try to consolidate our sleep into one massive 8-hour block to begin with. But mathematically, sleeping 8 hours means you are asleep for an entire third of your life. Let that sink in. While you're resting, the stock market is open and your competitors are already awake making decisions about your life and your industry. It's a massive wake-up call about urgency and exactly how you leverage your waking hours. It really comes down to this very simple equation. What does it mean to be extraordinary? It's just putting extra effort directly on top of ordinary behavior. The sources are crystal clear on this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being ordinary. If you want a normal, comfortable life, that is perfectly fine. But if you have extraordinary aspirations, you must be willing to do the extra things that most people simply refuse to do. Section 4, Forging Mental Toughness. It's you against you. The overriding philosophy of our source material is that the battle for greatness is entirely internal. It is not you against the world. It is always, always you against you. And the blueprint for this toughness is straightforward. First, you got to change your mindset through doing, not wishing. Mindset isn't built sitting on a couch. It's built in action. Second, intentionally do one thing every single day that sucks. Force yourself into that friction, even if it's just going for a walk in the rain when you really don't want to. And third, accept the hardest truth of all. No one is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to write your business plan, or turn off your TV, or push you out the door. It is entirely up to you. Now, what's really interesting about this is an intense military anecdote from the sources. Instructors would take recruits on a long run where the endpoint was known, and as they got close, recruits would get happy, they'd see the end. But the best instructors, they would run right past that finish line into the absolute unknown. Why? To break the hope factor. When people live on the hope that the pain will end soon, they quit when it doesn't. True mental toughness is revealed when the distance is unknown, the end is nowhere in sight, and you keep running anyway. Doing that requires parenting yourself. As this quote highlights, if you do the thing when you're feeling unmotivated, that is motivation. You aren't always going to feel like it. Your mind is going to try to hijack you with negative feelings or pure exhaustion. You have to step up and parent your own mind, acting deliberately and consistently regardless of how you happen to feel in that specific moment. Section 5, Meeting Your True Potential and the Ultimate Accountability. If we don't parent ourselves, if we don't push through that unknown, we face the agonizing consequence of leaving our potential completely on the table. The source paints this chilling hypothetical scenario that I really want you to visualize right now. Imagine you reach the end of your life. Say you're 75 years old. You lived a safe, comfortable, but ultimately unfulfilled life. You're standing in a judgment line, and you are handed a massive list of incredible physical and mental accomplishments, changing lives, breaking records, building empires. You look at the list, confused, and say, wait, that's not me? And your creator looks back at you and says, that's who you were supposed to be. Wow. Let's move to and see how this builds into what Nelson Mandela powerfully put it: there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. Human existence is just a brief blip, guys. If you know in your heart of hearts that there is more out there for you, you cannot settle. You absolutely have to jump. So when it's all said and done, who were you supposed to be? Don't wait to find out when it's too late. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, embrace the frictions, and finally take the jump to unlock your true potential. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Get out there and make it happen.